What up, Tube? What's going on, YouTube? I got a couple things I'm actually kind of showing you here. First off, I got a record, and I want to just, once again show, put a little piece of tape on the back of those. That's what's going to hold that hole there. Because obviously, with a record, you have a hole in the center. So if you're wondering, like, how you keep the paint from going through the record, there's your tip. Okay, there you go. Just this, that way, it's a little brighter. That looks a little bit more like, yeah, that looks a little more like what we're after here. I actually had changed the look on the. I'm gonna brighten it up super much, but I changed the look on the studio here a little bit ago, lighting wise. I'm just gonna leave the lights over there in the corner. But yeah, as I was saying here, you want to put a little piece of tape on. It just kind of keeps the water going through. I mean, paint from going through. And then, to hold it onto here, something that you can do is, and I try to, you'll see some of these have been kind of used before, but take a couple little pieces and you're just going to stick them onto the back side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that way when you flip it over, it's going to go right onto the surface there. Be able to spin. But we're not going to do that just yet. Because we're going to do a flip cup. We're actually going to do a couple things today. I got some fun, happening here. I got a lot of paints that are just left over and haven't been used in knows how long. So I want to just experiment, explore, see what I can get these paints to do. Let's see if I can, use up what I have here, awaken the dead, I guess you'd say, and, just have some fun. This isn't even like, I'm not really trying to, make a super piece of art here. That's one of the things really with the art that I've been making. Yes, there is value to it. Yes, there is, technique that's going on. Yes, there is a story that's being told. But, a lot of this is, sort of the cheaper materials and cheaper items because I'm just trying to get the message out more than trying to, do something necessarily economically, whatever. And I hope that, I hope that people who, maybe can't afford nice supplies are watching these videos and, are getting inspired and say, hey, you know what? I'll go and, try this out, but with Newton Windsor punts, for my whatever, or, I'm trying to think of like a I was about to say for watercolor, because, I do some watercolors over there also. Something was like, yeah, Newton Windsor watercolor. I'm not even sure if Newton Windsor is good watercolor. It seems good to me, because I'm used to using, like, random from your store watercolor. I mean, when you're painting, history goes back to Dollar Tree, which, I mean, let's remind folks, okay, Dollar Tree, it's not even like Dollar General, actually went back to Dollar General. Let me correct that. When your painting history goes back to Dollar General, Dollar Tree, it's not even Family Dollar, It's kind of like, say you got all your supplies from Walmart, I guess. Not to downplay the Walmarts and Dollar Trees and Dollar Generals. And, if if that's what you're affording, go for it. When I first started painting, I didn't know that I wanted to paint, so it made sense to buy stuff from the Dollar Tree. Because, hey, you know what? These Dollar Tree supplies that I'm buying here, they'll just kind of get me through until I decide if I really want to do this. If this is something I really want to get into, because maybe I don't want to get into this. Maybe I want to try something else out. Maybe I've got another curiosity in my mind that's kicking through, and I want to do this other thing, So that was kind of the energy that I was on when I started painting. I guess let me know in the comments what energy you've been on. We can all move forward from there. I might see if I can remix it, because glitter, usually you can get you can get kind of a lot of series. If you try to remix some glitter things, you can use it. So if I try to put a little, a little bit more Floetrol or other quantities in that cup, just to stretch that cup out a little bit more. When I made those, I don't think those were either ones where I didn't use all of it, or I only used like the 2 ounce, I didn't use a lot of paint. So my hope is that I kind of work around and make that. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to the other side because I can. Like when you feel the string coming out of the bottle, so you just pull it out of the bottle. And I didn't point out, it's been a week since, since she went back, but I hadn't used here for a while, which is why I haven't been painting. This is September, first week in September today. While she was here, we're talking, and I just looked down at my hands, and I looked, like, I haven't been painting. I have nails, I think that'll work. I looked down at my hands. It's kind of funny because I'm using the kind of hot pink too right now, saying all this. But looked down at my hands, and I'm like, yeah, I hadn't actually been painting in a while. So I hadn't clipped my nails or bit my nails or anything. And yeah, I actually have nails right now. And I told myself I was going to keep them long enough to get some paint on them. So hopefully this is counting. What we wanted here. Pour some of this in. I'm not sure what this is. Like, I'm just randomly pouring things into this cup. And like some of it's layering, some of it's not, This is a dirty pour. Like, this is dirty. Wanna get dirty? Ooh. See, the thing is, like with paints, they can't get a lot of air. Once you start getting air towards the paint, then you have issues, which is why, I keep them in these little bottles here and everything, so that, you can try to keep them without having a lot of air. I'm playing with fire right now. Just to get some purple. Look at me, playing with fire, just to get that purple. Yeah, because I know there's a marble in there. That's why I'm like playing fire right And I don't know if anyone's noticed as I drop these in, like, kind of how they're dropping in, you know. I drop in a color, then I drop in another color, and then I put a color on top of that, and then I drop in two more colors, but, you know, kind of drop those in a little bit sparingly, and then, you know, here's another color that's dropped in on top of that. Trying to make this into like a layer here. Because I gotta use these bottles too. I mean, these bottles have been around for a while. You know, and it's like I have a bunch of colors sitting over here to mix up. And I just haven't done it yet because I'm like, oh, I still got a little bit left here. There's still a little left in this bottle, you know. And you know, for those who are watching, there's a lot of projects going on that will be coming up here soon. So, actually, I want something to tweak this. I don't know what that. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I really elevate the camera, where you guys get like the top-down view. And then you're really going to love watching these videos. Man, you're going to be like, what in the blazes? Derek, you've been holding back. Because, I mean, it looks cool from that angle. Yes, it's going to look really cool when I'm, you know, putting everything together. But, you know, I just know, like, it looks cooler, you know, at the proposed angle that I had there, you know, with being on top, because you just get to see all the colors as they layer in. You know, maybe that's the thing for down the road. Multi-camera. I hear you, Boots. Because, you know, as we start to have more technology, we start to have more old technology. Yeah, thank you. As I start to have more technology, I start to have more old technology. And as I start to have more old technology, you know, it's like, well, the old technology still works. What do we do with it, you know? And, you know, it's not really it's old technology, it's just that it's, you know, another piece of technology. And one of the pieces of technology that I have a plethora of, I believe, you know, would be in ways cameras from cell phones, tablets, you know, and also cameras. So I'm thinking, yeah, I can really get creative, try to set up like, you know, 2-3 cameras when I go to do these videos. It's going to be a little bit more of an investment. Like, I need to rig one kind of looking up. You know, I definitely want to keep the tripod look. You know, that's the OG. It's really good for, you know, hey, I'm shooting a reel. You know, just a quick, you know. Like this here, the reel would probably just be the flipping of the cup. Let's be honest, because, you know, do you really want to watch as the real portion, all of the, well, this is how you tape the back of your canvas. I mean, that's interesting, don't get me wrong. I find it interesting, that's why I shot it. And I mean, you're not really required to put more in here for this. You know, you just want to make sure I get enough of the glitter out of the cup. I love glitter paints. I found this really nice red, like hard Valentine type stuff. Clearance section one time. That was like my favorite glitter paint ever. I'll just drop straight glitter on the canvas. Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me, because I will do that. Here's me like, do I have any glitter somewhere? I'm just dirty that real quick. Ooh. And then who knows what this is. I may be dropping like multiple layers. I might drop, you know, if I can fit another layer of that in here. I almost wish I'd dropped the red in between. But search these just to make sure I get like all of the things out. Yeah, some green here. I know I'm interested when I do my dirty pours because I'm like, hey, let me see how many colors I can get on one layer. And then the next layer will just be like one color. And you know, the question kind of becomes like, do I just kind of dirty pour this out onto the record? Which is something I haven't really done. I don't know, like, just straight dirty poured it out, you know. For those who are like, what the telescopic bleep, bleep, bleep are you talking about right now, sir? Give me about 22 seconds. 23 on a good day. I'm here to explain that one to you. It's like 22 on a good day. So what I had originally thought of was a flip cup. You know, which we're all familiar with. Flip cup would be, just to kind of show you. I'm gonna use one of my little guys here. Flip cup would be, you have your cup, you have your surface, flip it over, boom. What I'm kind of thinking about doing instead is a straight pour. You have your cup, it's filled up, you have your surface, you just kind of go. Now that I kind of see the cup, I'm like, yeah, you just flip it over and pull it up, you know. 6 1 half dozen of it. Well, that would be kind of cool. It would be kind of thing. So I don't know. Yeah. Now I'm kind of like, well, you know, maybe I will do that. I need to hurry though, because the sun's going to be coming up here soon. Oh, I wanted to go back to the white. I think it was the, let's see. first. Or do I just want to end in the yellow? I think so. Like, actually, purple multi-surface. Have room for it. Room to see. We shall see. Ooh. It's a purple that I literally just had out. Whatever, maybe I'm not supposed to use purple. Maybe it's supposed to be like purple less. Oh wait, was it you? It's about to be you. 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 That is like, I mean, that is a full cup right there. That is a full cup. You are not punching that. I gotta hurry. Yeah, I got like hours. I gotta kill with this here. Oh, make sure you got the tape off. Make sure you got the tape on. Are we ready to rock and roll? I said we're ready. Ready. To rock and roll. Yeah, we went back to the first method. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you just kind of press it down there. And it holds it to the surface so that, you know, I don't know if I'm going to need to spin it out, but just in case. Oh, and by the way, those little guys right there, I guess whatever paint is left or whatever drips off, maybe I should just start putting some of these around the sides now, or it's kind of why I wanted to use some extra paints and it all kind of flow in there and all that, is, you know, I have these little cutouts here. I have a butterfly, this little butterfly, dropping these things here. Some hearts and stars that I actually paid a little extra for these larger hearts. But, you know, just be on the lookout. You know, there'll be some, we'll call free art coming, you know. Some, sure you could pay for these, but yeah, there'll be some other forms of art coming here soon. What I'll do is I'll take those and just kind of dip them in whatever paint's down on the surface. That's what I was kind of thinking, like, hey, do I want to just go ahead and, you know, do that now? Or, you know, whatever paint's kind of left over in the cup or in the, you know, just wherever, basically. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, do I want to just pop some? Because I see like a little bit of paint here on the bottom of this here. All right, so this is where the reel's going to be. I'm going to walk away for a second. This will be fun. Yeah. Ready? Y'all didn't hear that. Not yet, girl. Okay, here we go. Saw the lighting change. Okay. So I know when the lighting changes, but that's when the reel begins. Mm-hmm. It's very planetary. Like, and I got a good amount of paint left in the thing to do some of my other deals that I was talking about earlier. So I'm excited for that. Get this over here. Came in and started painting. I just was like, yeah, let's get started. That's the chords. Eventually I'll get to the point where everything has its place. You know, I would even like to have, oh, you're gonna peek out that window, aren't you? I would even like to have where, you know, the lighting's already done. Like, what you guys see here is, you know, the blacklight view, which I like having. You know, it's kind of why I record these. And yeah, I didn't hurry. I know the sun's coming up, girl, and you want to go outside. I do too. But yeah, what you guys see is the blacklight view right now. You know, it's kind of to represent the glow in the dark view. And I usually will try to get a photo also, just glow mode. But you know, blacklight mode also is something. But what you don't see is me holding the actual blacklight. So, you know, you don't see like that part. You know, or maybe I have it propped up depending on how I have, but usually holding the blacklight. So, yeah, that's something, you know, for my future is to have where, you know, I have 4-foot black lights that I've been using for display shows. I'd like to take one of those, have it propped up, you know, where I can just flick that on and off whenever I need to. It's going to shine down from above, you know, it's light. And, you know, like in theory, the ring light that I have needs to be up. The camera that I have needs to be up. The black light needs to be up. Once I have all three of those things up above, it becomes a better presentation. But you're not here for that. You're here to know that light breaks through darkness. All right, Kitty, as I see you breaking through the shades over there. I love you all. Take care. Until next time. Deuces.